Hey, David Wygant here, 10-minute daily reality check. Wow, I've got a reality today. We're going to be talking about dicks, vaginas, and other things that we all seem to own and possess and share and, well, mutually share and then use to control one another. And then all of a sudden, okay, there's a word out there that is going around. Now, you won't find it during the NFL games this coming Sunday. You'll see a commercial for it eventually in the future. And the commercial will go something like this. I've got Lauren Leonelli on. I always pronounce your last name wrong.
It's hard. It's Italian, and there's lots of vowels.
I know, lots of values. So, Lauren, there's going to be a commercial in a couple of years that says, have you been dickmatized? There's going to be some type of drug to get rid of the bad relationship that someone just got in because they were either dickmatized, pussymatized, vaginamatized, whatever it might be. This is when you have sex very early in the relationship. You see somebody you like, you go out on a date, you feel really good because you've got this connection. They've got the gift of gab. You feel vulnerable and open. You've been tired of dating and they just hit some of the buttons down. You feel like they're your emotional equal because they said the right things over a 2-hour chew and talk session at a restaurant or maybe a sip and wine session at a bar. And all of a sudden, you feel good. The texts are coming in. The emoticons are the right emoticons. The man isn't exactly talking dirty, but yet he's subliminally talking dirty. So he's able to make you feel safe and comfortable. And then you make that decision.
Yeah.
And you have sex. And there's a drug, there's a proposition in California called Proposition 027. Okay. It's going to be on the ballots this November. And it's oxytocin, and they're going to try to legalize it. They're going to put it next to the dispensaries. And there's going to be a powder you can snort so you can get your own oxytocin release so you don't have to become dickmatized or pussymatized.
Stop. Are you being serious?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, so, I was like, well, that was very convincing, David, because I believed you.
That was good, right? So, Lauren, I've got a theory here, and I try not to go down the matized path because if I get matized, I tend to get lost in it. Feelings of love come up very quickly when you get matized because here you are, you meet somebody. And especially I have found that women in their sexual prime, if they finally meet a man that's able to bring them to places they haven't been before, because there's a lot of men out there that are basically stuck in the Revolutionary War. They're Minutemen. We call them one-pump chumps.
Oh, God.
Chronic masturbator Tim. He's the guy who's constantly watching porn nonstop. And women get kind of, especially when they're in their orgasmic frenzy days, when a guy is willing to go downtown and do all the wonderful things and then have sex and not come too quickly and allow her to have an orgasm via sex, a woman gets dickmatized extremely fast and all of a sudden it starts to have warm feelings of love because oxytocin is the love drug. Now, we all know.
I have a question. I don't know this scientifically. Is oxytocin only released during an orgasm or during the act of sex?
It's released the minute we start touching each other. When we start touching one another, okay, we start feeling warm and fuzzy. And it's like literally oxytocin foreplay. So when the oxytocin that gets really released, and the dopamine that gets released, and all the stuff that gets released is after the orgasm. Now, if an orgasm continues, because the beauty of women is that you can have many orgasms, so the oxytocin can just continue and continue. It's like a giant bong you're constantly smoking. It's like literally attached to you. A man has the oxytocin release, and it's a lot quicker. That's why a lot of men disconnect after sex because the high tends to be really high, and then all of a sudden they don't want to be touched anymore because they don't feel it anymore. But a woman, the way you're built, it's so beautiful. There's always one more left inside you. There's always another orgasm that can sneak out. There's always, if the guy is good in bed. So yeah, the oxytocin gets released. Now, I don't know the exact full-on scientific, but this is all what I've read because I'm not a doctor. I am just playing a dating coach in life. So I have something that we started talking about offline a little bit. I think the longer you wait, the more you get to see the person's behaviors, the more you get to see whether or not they brought the United Nations bag of flags with them, and the better it's going to be when you start getting lost in oxytocin. And I told you something when we were off camera that I believe waiting 30 days, because if you wait 30 days, someone is showing up. You're talking and you're texting and you're emoticoning and you're having phone conversations. Yes, the iPhone is something you can actually dial in and use as a phone device. I know it shocks the shit out of people that it's not. just an Instagram device or a texting device. But yes, there's actually a minute plan that people have. It's called unlimited. So you can actually reach out and touch someone like AT&T.
Yeah.
When I say you have to wait for sex, you kind of gave me a morning eye roll and said, whoa, or wait. So
yeah.
What do you feel about the power of being dickmatized and pussymatized?
Okay, well, I think that it depends on where you are in your life, because I think in my early 20s, I would have for sure equated, if I have sex with you, then I'm going to really start to like you. But I know I've been in situations before where I have had sex with somebody, and timeline wise, it wasn't like a month into it or not. It just was whenever it was, which was probably like earlier, or maybe with guys that are kind of like your friends, but then things happen. And I don't feel like it totally did that. I mean, I do agree that it connects you in some way, but I've definitely had sexual experiences with men that I haven't felt like, oh my God, now I like that I'm not dickmatized at all. Like I'm not. And I don't know if it's just because that person wasn't like the right person for me in that way and I just was having sex anyway. I don't know. But I do think if the potential is there to like somebody and things are connecting and you have sex, yeah, I think the likelihood of that dickmatized, pussymatized can happen. I just feel also like I don't know if I can say I'm going to put a time frame on when I decide to have sex with you. I also kind of like feeling like if I feel like having sex with you, then I will. And if I'm not ready, then I won't. Right?
Yeah, I know. I like that. And I think the thing is, I think when the guys that you've had sex with and you have sex with them too early, you're not emotionally vested in it. Now, I've had sex with people on the first date. I've had sex with people on the second date. The older I get, the longer I wait because I really want a relationship with them and I want to see who they are. And when I've had sex early with somebody, I haven't been pussymatized at all. It's because the emotions aren't there. Because if you think about sex, it starts in our mind. It coordinates with our heart. It's an energetic exchange between two people. There's chemistry involved. There's feeling wanted and safe and needed and all that other stuff. So when you jump in fast, you can't possibly feel as safe as you did the longer you wait. Now, you can also meet somebody and spend 10 straight nights with them because, you guys connected and have sex after a week and you've actually really done the amount of hours you probably would have done with somebody in 30 days.
I was going to say that's true for how much time you connect over the 30 days. So that can be relative to how involved and talkative you are. But I do have something else to bring up too, is that sometimes a woman doesn't have an orgasm or reach that point until she feels emotionally safe with a guy, and that can be after the 10th time of having sex. And obviously the act of having sex is releasing some of that oxytocin, but for me personally and a lot of girls that I know, like we don't have orgasms like that. It's like I need to feel comfortable and safe and emotionally connected, I guess, in some way that I feel like I can do whatever I need to do to get to that point. And that doesn't happen the first time I sleep with a guy. It's going to take a second.
It's funny. I tell guys all the time, please don't orgasm count. Please make her feel safe.
Yeah.
Please make her feel wanted. Make sure you call her after. Make sure she feels safe. Hold her tight, rub her back going to bed. Literally become a man because she's been vulnerable with you. The orgasm is I call it for men, the orgasm is the reward that comes when you know that she's fully vested in the relationship and fully safe in that relationship. Because as a man, and this is something that a lot of women don't understand, is that, and I know it affects me as well, is that I'll get into my head the first time I know we're going to have sex, and I'll think to myself, am I going to get hard? I might be going down on her, and the whole time I'm not thinking about her coming because I can feel what her body is going through, and I know whether or not she's going to orgasm or not. I'm thinking about, am I going to get hard? Because I'm also not feeling 100% safe in the whole thing, because you literally are, no matter how many conversations you've had, no matter how many texts you've given one another, no matter how much validation you have, you're getting naked with somebody for the very, very first time. So your expectation should be zero. And you can just allow your bodies to learn one another, because once you learn one another and you feel safe, that's when the real dickmatizing and pussymatizing comes in, because you've actually talked to each other about what you both desire and want. And in that safe feeling, that's when the orgasms and that's when the erections come in. And
Yep.
that's when you feel each other, and that's when the relationship starts to blossom in that way.
You're 100% right. And for me personally, and I know that obviously girls talk about all the details of everything because you know how we are. I know other women that are very much like me too. So I can say, I think that I am like other women in the fact that that takes a second. So it doesn't matter if I have sex with you on the first date. Well, generally speaking, it doesn't matter if I have sex with you on the first date or I wait 30 days or whatever that time frame is, because it's gonna take me a second to get there anyway. So like for example, my boyfriend now, I knew him a little bit before we went out. We had been around each other for a couple of months. So he wasn't a complete stranger, but I had sex with him on the first date. I was like, why not? Who cares? And the actual physical connection didn't happen until later down the road. So I would say that like we put in that time, but the sex did happen first. I get what you're saying, but for me, it's going to take a second for me to get there sexually and get to that dickmatized point. It's not going to happen the first time. It's just not.
No, it's impossible. The first time, all it is, and I always tell people, survive the first time.
Yeah, I know. Wait, can you answer this question for me,
Yeah,
David?
yeah.
Why the fuck do people in songs like they sing a love song and they're like, "Ooh, yeah, I just want it to feel like the first time. Feel like the first time." It's
Oh
like,
God.
the first time is the worst time. I don't want it to feel like the first time. No, with the first time.
I'm the same way. It's like the first time. It's like I just want to know how your body moves. I want to
Yes.
know what your body feels like. I want to get an idea of you and your sensitivity and just what it feels like to be with you, to look at you in your eyes, to see
Yeah.
you underneath there, to make you feel safe. It's just the first time is just the most awkward time, especially afterwards when
Oh,
as a man, when you come after the first time, you lay down next to them and you think to yourself, well, that was interesting,
yeah, I know. It's so
right?
weird.
It's so weird. And then you're like, God, it's like then you get in your head a little bit. You think, wow, I hope they enjoyed it. And that's
Yeah.
another thing too. Sex is all about reassuring the other person the whole
Yeah.
time, going, that was amazing. That was beautiful. That was great. You look so beautiful. Last night was, I always tell people all the time too, and as a man, give some type of recap from the night before. Last night was great.
I would love that. If as a woman I can vouch, yes, please. Verbal reassurance all the way.
All the time. Send a text. Still thinking about you. Last night felt so great. Oh my God, I smell you. I haven't showered yet. Something.
Wait, but you wouldn't okay, but you're only saying to say this if you authentically feel it.
Oh yeah, everything to me is authentic.
Okay.
I mean, the fact is, first off, I'm not gonna sleep with somebody unless I really want to see them again. Not at this stage in my life. Secondly,
Yeah.
it's all authentic because it means there's the validation, and women need to validate men as well too. Because if you think about when you're having sex, in order to be fully dickmatized or pussymatized, you want to have sex with your greatest. If you worked your life through the right way, meaning you have done your shit, and you've owned your shit, and you have relationships, you've worked on your stuff. The next person you want to be able to have the best relationship with, feel the most safe you've ever felt in your life, and have the best sex of your life. And the only way you're going to do that is through communication on all those levels. You have to talk to one another and make each other safe and secure.
So how does it sound for a woman to verbally reassure a man after sex? Because I think you guys we respond different to different things as men and women. So what do you want to hear?
Oh, we need validation. I mean, we're validation junkies. I mean,
Like,
we want to
like
know.
what?
Don't tell us we're the best until we actually are the best. Let you. It's okay. We know that we need to learn your body. We need to know what you like done to you. We need to know if the way you like to be licked and touched and kissed and made love to and all this other stuff. So fantastic. Okay, but don't tell us we're the best till we are the best. But we want to hear like, oh my God, the way you went down, it's like last night's orgasm was so great, or the way you touched me felt so good. Men need validation. It's almost like if there was a sexual, football game on, Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels would be there and go, all right, the running back, Melvin Gordon, man, I'll tell you something, the way he moved his tongue on his girlfriend, holy shit. Let's watch it on the instant replay right now. All right, watch how Melvin's tongue went on the slow motion vagina cam right now. There it is. It's twirling in circles. Watch the way her get erect and watch the way her body is coming right now. Melvin, you did a great job at doing it.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Okay, a play-by-play. We want a post-game recap of
Yes.
the sex that happened.
Yes, we just need to be validated however you feel like validating. You could have said, last night was amazing. I love the way you do that. Oh my God, what did you do with your finger? It's like, that was unreal.
Okay.
Wow, you were so hard last night. It's like, it's like, oh, I can't wait to feel you later. Can you do the same thing again?
Okay.
So it is, and it's also, this gives the power to women too, because you're actually training the man to do what you want without, if you think about it, you have to really train each other when it comes down to sex anyway. So you're training the man to do what you want without having to criticize him, because a lot of women will be like, it's like, I really like if you could just go down on me more.
Right.
Okay, bingo, just take his balls, crush them, and
Exactly.
destroy them. More like last night when you did that, please don't stop when you were when you were going up and down, and you moved, you switched, don't switch ever. Oh my God, you had me. Oh my God.
Okay, good. I got it.
Right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Validation. We need the orgasm validation.
Okay, hey, I'm down for that. I have no problem telling somebody, I think it's a little bit sometimes scary in the moment to say things like, "Oh, do that," or "don't." After the fact, though, I think is a little easier until you get really comfortable with somebody. But then I think after the fact, saying like, "I like when you did that," or "That was really great," is a little easier in the beginning, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, and plus during, you don't need the recap during, I mean,
Or no, or just the reassurance during. Sometimes that's a
right.
little, yeah, it just depends on how comfortable you are and what you're used to. But for sure, after the fact is great because I think then it just opens the door to let the other person know that it's okay for them to tell you as well. And that's how you learn and grow and make things better.
Well, I think during is great. Just, if, and I used to tell women this all the time, a lot of men don't know how to make women come.
Yeah.
So the word don't stop is really great. Don't
Okay.
stop whatever you're doing. Because a
Okay.
lot of men have grown up, and I didn't watch porn at all. I read sensual books and everything else. And I think porn's like stupid because my imagination is far greater. So I've
Right.
had, I've had no problem getting women to come since I started fooling around with women when I was 17. But
Really?
oh yeah, it's easy. But men, because most men though have watched porn, so porn is all about position flipping and let's do this position and that position. But the fact of the matter is, if a woman's G spot is being stimulated during sex, it's the constant pressure that's going that will allow her to orgasm. So when a woman is close, the man is thinking, flip around, be King Kong, chant and beat my chest. So a woman needs to say, don't
Stop.
stop
Yeah.
whatever you're doing. Those are the absolute sexual instructions that will turn your man into the best lover ever. So you are dickmatized by him and you actually have the best sex ever. Hooray for dickmatized. All right.
Yay.
Lauren, that's a good podcast today. I got to tell you, the reality is we need to train our lover and we need
That's
to train
right.
our partner. Now, you have an amazing podcast. Can you tell people where they can find you?
Yes, we are a Complicated Show. So find us on Instagram at Complicated Show and all the other socials, and you can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. And we are live every Thursday at 10 a.m. So tune in live, or then we live forever on the internet. So if you miss it, you can always listen to our latest episode and our past episodes as well.
Perfect. And I was telling Lauren, part of being single is being vulnerable, raw, and authentic. This was a conversation we had offhand. So I told Lauren, Lauren and I, the minute we talked, we connected. We had a great conversation. I did your podcast and we talked and we talked and we talked. So being single means that you put it out there into the universe because you never know what the universe is going to do, or you never know who is going to deliver. So I said,
Yep.
if you have any amazing, evolved friends, please send them my direction. I want all of you to do that today with one person that you know. One person that you know that thinks you're a fucking amazing person, okay? I want you to go to them and say, you know what? I don't need to look through your Facebook friends and need to go and contact them alone. Set me up, introduce me to somebody great, introduce me to somebody that really wants to have an amazing connection, an amazing relationship with an evolved person. So I said that to Lauren, and I want all of you, today's reality is to reach out to somebody you know and ask that, because love can only be found if other people find it and help pass it along with you. Don't rely on Bumble, Tinder, swiping, or don't rely on your own stuff, especially in today's world. Somebody always knows somebody for you. That's
Yep.
the reality of today. Say goodbye, Lauren.
All right. Goodbye. Thanks for having me.